First of all, I want to welcome everybody to the Pawnee Business Council C3 Candidates Forum. It's hosted by the Pawnee Nation Employees Club. Candidates are Liana Teter, Adrian Spottedhorsechief, Charles Lone Chief Jr., and Jimmy Whiteshirt. I want to we were asked to put on the forum first time. We did pretty good. Also want to I'm James Rice, Amanda Clymer, and Robin Long. I'm sorry. My bad. And then I was going to say ask, but I forgot you. Sorry. Okay. Let's go on. Where our agenda is, I want to go over the format of our forum. We're going to have opening statements beginning with Liana, proceeding to Jimmy, and you have 2 minutes each. Following that, we'll have question number 1. Charles will be the first, proceeding to Liana, and you'll have 1 minute for the question, to answer the question. And that'll go all the way to question number 5. If we may go ahead and go a little shorter rather than doing all 5, but unless to try to make that 7 o'clock closure. And the closing remarks will be as well as the 2 minutes. So what we also do, Amanda's she has the time, she's gonna keep time on when you start talking. And Robin's she has cards if you want to show Robin. She's gonna show you where you're at on your time. And whenever it does come time, I'll just say time. And you know, if you're running in a sentence, go ahead and finish your sentence. So the questions we have these are tribal members that voiced to the candidates. So we have 5 of them is what we have. And the number 1 question is, for Liana being the first, what motivated you to run as a candidate for the Pawnee Business Council seat number 3? And
are we not doing the introduction?
no, yes you are. Forgive me. Forgive me.
So that's your
I just got to. Liana, we'll start with Liana doing her opening statements. And when you're ready.
Okay. It's nice to see. It's not, do you hear me now? Okay. It's nice to see everyone here, and I want to thank the employee club for inviting us, and I better hurry, huh? I previously served on the council for 4 productive years. I'm familiar with the tribal constitutions, policies, procedures. I'm knowledgeable about our tribal sovereignty as well as how to apply them in order to assert and maintain our tribal sovereignty, which is the political authority of our Pawnee Nation. We have experienced many improvements to our community during my past term, and we benefited from increasing opportunities. We have several accomplishments, but I'm not going to get into that yet because I got 1 minute. And so, I offer as a candidate a foot on the floor and experienced and ready to move forward mode, ready to continue and expand upon these initiatives put in place during the past 4 years. And if I'm fortunate enough to be elected, this will not be a learning experience for me. And so I would very much appreciate your vote.
Thank you, Liana. Charles, you have the same amount of time.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Modern conveniences. I'll repeat. Welcome and good evening, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to be here to speak to you. I base my candidacy on the vast experience I've had. I've served on the council since 1993 up through 1997, and also regular council seat after that, plus a couple of terms as vice president, and acted president for a time when President Gold was out in surgery. So in saying that, I've served on many committees. I've dealt with the Keystone XL pipeline and the Department of State. Mr. Eckhoff and I went to PBC to meet with TransCanada and the Department of State. So, and I've dealt with several repatriations. I chaired a 5 tribes committee. We repatriated remains from Smithsonian, typical remains, which dated back to 1000 AD. And also served during the time that we repatriated the scouts and reburied them in Genoa. I served on the Education Committee. 15 seconds. But anyway, I promise you that I will serve faithfully, as I always have, and I've always kept in mind of all the constituents, whether they live here locally or elsewhere. Thank you.
Time's up. Thank you. Thank you, Charles. Adrian?
Noah, everybody. I want to thank you all for being here this evening time. I'd like to thank you guys for putting on this forum, and everybody that brought food. The food was very delicious. You know, myself, I decided to run again for this position that I've held the past 4 years. I've tried my best to try to move us forward with some economic development. There's some things that currently that I was working on that I didn't get to finish up on that I really think is going to be something beneficial, not for us only culturally, but for economic-wise. Buffalo Project, Bison Project, Ag Plan. There's some other things that I want to try to see about the follow through too as well. This swimming pool, we want to try to build out here, and so I think everybody's probably seen my plans and everything that I want to try to work on, or Constitution restructure. I want to see about putting our Nasharo Chiefs back in power. It's something that is greatly needed. They're the voice of the people as well, and it's something that was culturally that was taken from us that we need to implement again. I think everybody knows that I've been around here in the community almost all my life. Participate in a lot of our cultural and ceremonial doings that we have here. And so I'm just right down the road in Yale. That's where I grew up at. So I'm just thankful for everybody being here this evening time that's taken an interest in our tribal politics, and I appreciate your vote.
Thank you, Adrian. Jimmy?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah. Good evening. My name is Jimmy Whiteshirt. I was born and raised here in Pawnee. And when my father couldn't find any employment here, we got on with the relocation plan. And that took us to Tulsa because Mom didn't want to be too far from Pawnee. The reason why I'm running is because a lot of our people are saying it's time for a change. We need more transparency. We don't know. I have asked the Pawnee people, where's our money going? Well, I don't know. They don't tell us anything. I'm tired of hearing that. Back in May, the people made a decision for part of that change. And part of that change was to take Mr. Spottedhorsechief and Mrs. Teter out of the game plan. For whatever reason, I don't know. I don't know. I have great respect for each of them. I grew up with Liana. I have great respect for Buddy. I would also like to explore the possibility of forming business partnerships with local, national, and international companies who would be interested in doing business with the Pawnee Nation. Examples are the aeronautical division, toys industry, especially the brewing industry, electrical appliance industry, and the import-export. I'm looking at ways to improve our tribal sovereignty. I'm looking at ways to enhance programs for our Pawnee people. That's part of the changes I'm looking for.
You think you did it?
Thank you very much.
Question number one. Now we'll get to it. I'm reading here's question one that we have. You've already heard it, but I'm going to read it again. What motivated you as a candidate for the Pawnee Business Council seat number 3? That'll be for you, Charlie.
I've heard through the grapevine that there's been a lot of bickering going on with council. And when I served as vice president and as acting president, I would not allow it. I'd always call it point of order. There is no reason why intelligent people can't sit down and reason out things, go through the pros and cons, seek the best solution, and then make a good decision. I've always contended that. I always had hope, and I've seen a lot of progress made. A lot of things, good things have happened. A lot of buildings have been erected, and our young people have benefited. Our elders have benefited. And I hope that things can be put into place, along with the other council members, that will put them first. Thank you.
Thank you. Adrian?
Well, myself, I think one of the main priorities that I have is economic development. I think us, as Pawnee people, we look around and look at all the neighboring tribes and look at the things that they help out for their people, the things they help out with, social services, health, different things like that. That's something us too that we should be doing, that we should be looking into. And to make those things possible is to have economic revenue. Right now, our only major source of economic revenue is gaming. And that's why I looked into this Bison project, looked into this ag plan, also looked into starting this sports commission, so we could bring some other revenue sources into the tribe. When we do that, then we're able to help better serve our people and the things that they need.
Thank you, Adrian. Jimmy?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yes. What motivated you to run as a candidate for the Pawnee Business Council seat number 3?
As I said earlier, the people want change. And I want to share a common vision with the people. It's my goal to work towards a common vision between the Tribal Council, the TDC, and our Pawnee people. With this common vision, we can improve the quality of life for the Pawnee people and to improve the trust and understanding between our people and tribal leadership. I will make communication a priority. If I'm elected, I will do what I can to ensure the decisions made by the Pawnee Business Council will represent the needs of the Pawnee people and the entire tribe. I pledge to be objective and fair while being held accountable to our Pawnee people and to further protect our sovereignty. I'm a very strong believer in tribal sovereignty. Without it, without sovereignty, it'd be hard to exist as a tribe today. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Liana?
Okay, my reason for, the motivation behind my reason for running for Business Council, seat number 3 again, I had several people come to me who asked me to run again for one thing. And as I looked back and thought about it, I thought about our accomplishments, that the accomplishments we had while I was a member. And that was a lot in the rise of business enterprises. We've given opportunities to provide more jobs for our tribal citizens. We added the Cultural Resources Division, the Museum Board, reactivated the Cultural Committee. We made an official statement about illegal fracking in violation. We were able to work with the earthquake damages. We opened a new Pawnee Nation Elder Center. We installed the PBC Park for family self-unity for the community. We had an expansion of the, okay.
Thank you.
You better just come talk to me.
Question number 3, Adrian. 2? Yes, excuse me. Question number 2. Name your experience with government-to-government relationships in what areas of tribal government, and in what areas of tribal government was it?
Oh, well, myself, I've been working with, I know a lot of people from other different tribes. So if you want to talk government to government, I've worked with, name it, Kenny Reels from the Pequot Nation, local tribes from around here, the Otos, Comanches, Potawatomis, Quapaws. We've got a good relationship with the Quapaws, Sac Foxes, even got some real good friends that serve on some of these governments, Also, city, of course from Yale, working with Pawnee here as well, knowing some city officials from Stillwater that's kind of within our jurisdiction. So, I think I have a lot of experience working with tribal governments and state governments as well. So I think I bring a lot of experience to the nation.
Thank you. Jimmy?
As a Tulsa police officer, I served the Tulsa community for 32 years. During those 32 years, I networked with organizations from the mayor's office down to homeless shelters in providing services to all citizens. Minority leaders of the community partnered with the Tulsa Police Department to form the Minority Cultural Task Force. The minority community leaders expressed their desire to see more minorities within the police department. I was one of several minority police officers who were selected to be police recruiters. We traveled to many colleges and universities recruiting potential officers. And I'm happy to say that the task force was successful. I participated in town hall meetings with all nationalities of people to explain the services of the Tulsa Police Department and how the police can help them network with other organizations with non-related police matters. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Liana?
Okay, my experience of government to government, what?
Relationships in what areas of tribal, in
Okay.
tribal government?
In tribal government?
Yes.
Okay, my experience, I feel like I have more tribal government experience. In addition to my past 4 years on the Business Council, I have worked with the Pawnee Tribe as a staff member, as well as working with other tribes as staff members and on committees. And this has given me the knowledge and courage to speak up with, for the support of our people. And in the next 4 years, as we look ahead to the Trump era, we can see that Indian country may come into some troubled times, and we'll need experienced tribal leaders who can navigate these troubled times of adverse Indian policies. Thank you.
Thank you, Liana. Charles?
In 1969, I was president of the Tulsa Indian Center and dealt with the Office of Economic Opportunity and also Oklahoma Indian Opportunity. We dealt with many civic duties to take care of, the clients, the clientele. We also had a recreation program that I oversaw. Then, once I got on the council, I dealt with the Department of State several times. I've gone to sovereignty symposiums and dealt with other tribal members and discussed matters. I have gone to National Congress of American Indian conferences and dealt with many other tribes. So, in saying that, I have a vast knowledge of things, inner workings that go on in different tribes. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Question number 3. This sounds like an employee. Would you be in favor of a random drug testing policy for both the employees and PBC? If not, why? And that will be for beginning with Jimmy. 1 minute.
Our tribe has a problem with drug use and addiction. And when we first looked at gaming, I thought to myself, well, there's going to probably be a lot of our employees who are taking drugs and are addicted. They're not going to be employed. And then we're going to have to hire non-Indians to take their place. We need to put something in place to help those addictions and that drug abuse. I'm all for it. Throughout my career in the Tulsa Police Department, 850 of us took random drug tests. This went on constant. But yes, I'm in favor of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Liana?
Okay, repeat that again.
Yes, I can repeat it. Would you be in favor of a random drug testing policy for both the employees and the PBC? If not, why?
Okay. It's always good. It's always good to do that. It's just a good practice. I come from 28 years of teaching in the public school, and they always had random drug tests throughout the whole school system, not just the coaches. And with the employees, I know that we have been able to offer health insurance to them and promote employee leadership proficiencies. And so we need to have some strong employees with pride. And if they do happen to have a problem, we need to work with them and take care of it. So yes, I do.
Thank you. Charles?
I think it's imperative to have a random drug testing. It's a protective measure. If a person was on drugs and happened to cause an accident, the tribe would be liable. It wouldn't just fall on the individual, it comes back on the tribe. And I think that's a risk that's not worth taking, and it's up to the individuals to take care of their own business, seek drug treatment if necessary, and there's avenues to pursue there. Drug addiction is very difficult to overcome, and it takes a lot of counseling and a lot of support, but it's very necessary to have drug testing. It's done in athletics, it's done in the pro world, and I presume in some governmental agencies. So yes, I believe we should have random drug testing.
Thank you, Charles. Adrian?
I just wanted to say, everybody's got some good comments here, and I too, agree with that. I've worked out in other places besides tribes. I worked out there in the general public, and every one of the jobs I had was always constantly drug tested. And this is something that's been across our table before as council, and that we had discussed that, and we said if that's something that we was going to do, us as leaders, we need to lead by example. We need to be the first ones that do that, And I'm all for it, if that's the direction that we go and everything, then let us be the first to do that random drug testing, And just like what Buddy said, it's the best way to keep our people safe. We have social service things, substance abuse programs that we can do to try to help get our people helped, So these are some of the things, the way I feel, I feel the same way. So I'm not opposed to it at all, one bit.
Thank you, Adrian. This is question number 4. And I believe we come back to Liana. The question is, I'm getting rid of, what passions do you have, says, for the Pawnee people?
I have 3 major goals if I'm elected. That would include Pawnee language and culture, education, and expand economic growth, inspire economic self-sufficiency, and manage our tribal sovereignty. One of my high priorities is on the Pawnee Indian Veterans. This is an organization which not only honors the service of our veterans, but promotes Pawnee language and culture probably more than any other entity in our tribe. The dances are what remains of our traditions, and the language that was taught to us by our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. Education, I will support and strengthen all Pawnee educational institutions including vocational education, employment opportunities, and tribal-based schools. I would like to see language immersion in there.
Time is up. Yes.
Okay, you're going to have to just come visit me.
Thank you, Liana. Charles?
I've always been concerned about the elders. There was a time when the meal program, they were serving sandwiches and soup. And I would hope that the council would allocate more money towards the food program. They deserve that. They've been with the tribe for many years. Also, those that are homebound need to be cared for. Those that are disabled certainly need to be addressed. Any activities that they need help, I would presume that the council would make every effort to take care of them. And also our disabled veterans ought to be honored. World War II veterans should be cared for. It's imperative. They were the greatest generation. And I hope that the language program, I've been a strong advocate of the language program going back to 1995. And I've always hoped that we could get a strong language program developed.
Thank you, Charles. Adrian?
passionate about. You know, I'm passionate about being Pawnee. You know, I look around here and I see all you Pawnee people that are here. You know, everybody's coming here for this homecoming. You know, I want people to be proud to say that they're Pawnee. You know, I've been around here in this community all the time, and everywhere I've gone, all throughout the country, the powwow world, you know, the Native American church or whatever, I always told people I'm Pawnee because I'm proud of that, you know. That's something that really I'm passionate about, and I want people to be that way too. I want people to look around and see the things that we've done, that we've created, and say, you know what, I'm Pawnee, our people did that, you know. If they get help from one of our programs and stuff, I want them to say, you know, Pawnees, we did that. We take care of our people, you know. That's just something that I want, you know. I want people to be proud of who they are. Go around, tell people that, you know, I'm Pawnee, you know. We were once a proud nation, and we're still a proud nation. We're rich in a lot of things that we have. We have a lot of culture that a lot of tribes don't have anymore, you know. So that's what I want. I want people to be proud of who they are, be Pawnee.
Thank you. Jimmy?
My passion lies with our tribal sovereignty. I'm a very strong supporter of tribal sovereignty. Our Native American tribal sovereignty came with a very high price. Many of our Native people were killed or murdered. We have fought the United States government and state governments on the battlefield and in the courts. Every tribe has had their own trail of tears. It is our tribal sovereignty that defines us. And just take a hard look at it. Like I say, without it, where would we be? As a tribe, as a nation, as a people. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Question number 5, Charles. And when I saw this, I think this kind of what had a little part to it was how I believe they used to say, hey, the Pawnees did this, the Pawnees are doing that. And I think this is where this question falls in line to. What is your observation of the Pawnee Nation as a government or as a leader, you know, kind of in the Indian community? Charles?
I think that the Pawnee warriors have always been recognized. We've had a lot of veterans that have served in all the wars and earned very high distinction honors. I believe some of the movies point that out. That, you know, Dances with Wolves, that we were kind of depicted the wrong way. But still, we were known and still known as some of the greatest scouts that ever graced the plains. So there's a lot of pride in our background. We've had Medal of Honor, 2 Medal of Honor winners. And I just think it's a proud distinction that a lot of tribes haven't had. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Adrian?
I think when you start thinking about this wow factor, you know, about Pawnees and what they're doing, you know, myself, there's so much more that we can do. But some of the things that what Buddy talked about is true. You know, we have a lot of things that some of our people in our tribe have done and accomplished. We got the most accomplished, you know, attorneys, doctors, military personnel, athletes. You know, we have all of this. You know, not only that, but us as a nation. You know, we filed a lawsuit against the federal government. You know, people all over the country, tribes, even non-natives. You know, they talk about that. You know, when I was a young person, I came here to a council meeting with my grandpa. And he told me to sit over there, gave me a notepad, told me to be quiet and stuff. And he said, we got some people coming from another tribe from up north. And I said, what are they here for? He said, we're an economic power, and they're going to recognize us and honor us, you know. And I seen that plaque one day, you know, not too long ago. And that's what we need to be. We need to be like that again, you know. We need to be up here, you know. We need to be an economic power, you know. And that's just something that I want for us.
Thank you, Adrian. Jimmy?
Our tribe has suffered through many problems. One of my visions for our tribe is that people look upon the Pawnee tribe as a prospering nation. Whenever I hear a negative comment about our tribe, I take it to heart. I take it to heart, and so do other people. We do have many accomplishments as a Pawnee tribe. My heart lies with the veterans, those who didn't come back. I knew a lot of students in high school that didn't come back. One was Tommy Littleson. He gave his life for our sovereignty and our country. I'm proud to be Pawnee. I'm proud to be a veteran. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Now, we've gone through our 5 questions, and we go to our closing remarks. Each candidate will have 2 minutes each for your closing remarks. Excuse me? Excuse me? Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Question number 5. I'll read it. What is your observation of the Pawnee Nation as a government, as a leader in the Indian community?
In my lifetime, hundreds of fluent speakers have all passed away. In addition to my father, Basil Chapman, my uncles Henry Stoneroad and Bill Leaves, that often spoke fluent Pawnee and both band North and South at all our ceremonies and dances. And I still feel sad thinking about their beautiful oratory speeches they used to speak to our people. My grandfather, Henry Chapman, was a fluent speaker who served as the official interpreter for the Pawnees during his return from Carlisle. I was immersed in that Pawnee language in youth, and I feel a heartfelt desire to do all I can to bring it back. Supporting the veterans is one way to do this, and I would like to initiate a mentoring program for our youth to draw and encourage them more into our dances and traditions we still practice, including incorporating more language efforts into the Pawnee Nation College. And this will instill pride from the youngest age on up.
Thank you, Deanna. We will begin our closing remarks, as I said earlier. Excuse me for Deanna. We went from beginning with Charles. We're going to go ahead and end this and start with Adrian, starting with him. You have 2 minutes, Adrian.
Well, myself, I want to thank you all for taking a little bit of time to come here, and especially our viewers that are out there, that are going to be watching this, Myself, I think like what I was saying earlier, I'm a really proud Pawnee, I'm proud of who I am, I guess I'm other tribes too, but, a deist wall that saw fit for me to be with my grandparents and to learn the things that I did, So myself, I like I said earlier, I'm passionate about, wanting people to be proud to say they're Pawnee, however they want to do, go around and say that, hey, I'm Pawnee, I'm this tribe too, or whatever else, there's changes, that we need to have. We've got to have economic revenue coming in, like I said, we still need to promote our culture. Because that's really who we are, The federal government can take away, who we are as a tribe, but as long as we have our language and our culture, we're going to always be Pawnee. That's how the deists created us, is that way, So myself, I'm really passionate, and I want to try to do the best that I can for the nation, and I just hope that you guys see that. I speak from the heart, myself. I think about things. I try to analyze stuff. The questions that are before us, that are presented, you know. And I've always said this to people, you know, we've got to think about the whole nation as a tribe, not certain groups, not certain families, but the nation as a whole. That's what it is. It's all of our Pawnee people. You know, like I said, from the youngest to the oldest, wherever they're at, it doesn't matter, not just here in the Pawnee community, the surrounding communities, but all throughout the country, you know. So myself, you know, hope that you heard the passion that I have in my answers, and it's enough to make you guys support me with your vote. And I just want to say thank you all, you know, to all the viewers out there that's watching this as well, you know. Thank you, Noah.
Thank you, Adrian. Jimmy?
I've gone to different tribal entities and inquired about hiring individuals. When we hire white people in higher positions, we are not exercising our tribal sovereignty. We should hire tribal members. Then other members from other tribes who reside in Pawnee. If we don't have a qualified or experienced Pawnee tribal member, then we could hire a white person or a corporation as a consultant with the understanding that they would mentor and train a Pawnee tribal member, or hire a qualified, experienced tribal member from another tribal entity as a consultant to mentor and train that Pawnee member. Cherokees, what they do is they hire all their members first. They don't hire white people. Muskogee Creek, they hire all their tribal members first. And then they look at other tribal members who's associated with the various tribes. And then, as a last resort, they will hire a white person. Now, we need to take on some of that. I'm just, every time I think about when I see a white person in one of our high positions, oh, where are we going with that? Where are we going with that? And another thing I want to close out with is, you know, I'm looking at a per cap. So this powwow, this coming Saturday at the powwow, I'm going to be passing around a petition to obtain that type of income for our people. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Jimmy. Liana?
In closing, I would ask that you take into consideration my platform I've discussed, and also I feel my candidacy is different from the others because I do live in the Pawnee community on my family's allotment. My grandmother May writing in, so I attend all the tribal doings. I know the people and their families, and I'm accessible to the community anytime. I have time to put in on the Business Council. It requires a time commitment, and I have that liberty to be fully effective. And this can be seen by my attendance record at all past PBC meetings, committee meetings, and other special meetings that have been called during my tenure. Number 3, I am a woman, and I will advocate for women's issues as the women, our mothers, grandmothers, aunties deserve a representative voice as they have been and continue to be the backbone of the community, caring for our children, elders, and Pawnee families. I appreciate the encouragement and kindness from everyone, especially to the Employees Club for hosting this forum, and I'm asking that you be sure and vote on Saturday, July 22nd. We will be at the Roundhouse again serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all day, and everyone is welcome to come eat with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Charles?
I'd like to reiterate the fact that I have served on many councils and dealt with many issues, and it's easy to say that you can do a lot of things money-wise, but that's not necessarily the case. You only have so much to work with, and money has to be spread out. With Trump policies, if they go through, there's going to be a lot of programs suffer, and plans are going to have to be laid down to adjust to those cuts. It's not going to be a pretty thing, and it's not going to make council people very popular either. But I want you to realize that is something that may happen. I hope it doesn't, but it looks like it's going to happen. It depends on what Congress will let Trump do. And executive orders, you know what that can do. I've had experience dealing with government agencies, and I know how to deal with those. Walter Hognight had dealings with France, Canada, and the Department of State in Washington, D.C. There are a lot of issues that have to be met. The elderly, the young people. There's just no easy answer sometimes, but things have to be discussed, everything investigated, and what is the best course of action to take. And that's all that council people can do. You look at the facts and go from there. Other than that, you don't have a crystal ball and be able to see the future. You have to meet the problems as they come. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. That, if you don't mind, if we want to give everybody, if everybody would give them applause for them attending, for being here. Thank you. And I just want to thank you all for your answers and be praying for everybody. And I want to thank you. And we're going to go ahead and conclude it on that note. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.